Okay. Do I have ultimate Wizard of Oz power? Jump scare. Sorry. Okay, so there's like a 30-second loop to which I have to listen to myself, but we're gonna have so much fun! Bugs. No more typos. I get to be the voice, like the Wizard of Oz, behind the screen. Thank you so much, T-Fries. I am so excited! Okay, Mick's gonna pee, and then we're gonna start. Thank you, Maya, for giving me Wizard of Oz power so that I can talk about bugs. I don't have to type! Your bug stuffed animals? I want to see the bug stuffed animals. Thank you, Maya. Make fun of Connor until Mick comes back. I make fun of Connor every day I'm alive. This is so fun. Hi, everyone. I'm no longer limited by typing. I'm just limited by this lag. Brother, that is a wicked caterpillar. I am digging that. I'm so excited. Hi, everyone. Hi, bugs, 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 bugs. It is me. I'm like the Wizard of Oz.
Found it.
It's so cute. Helen has a honey maple moth. Or wait, rosy maple moth. There we go. Yes, I can still see emotes. It's changed my life. I now understand what is being said in the chat. Thank you. Our bug god has come down from the bug heavens to teach us. Yeah, we're talking about bugs. So I had to do these interviews for periodical cicadas this week. And just the most interesting things. I am a real person. I'm real. I promise. Your cat's name is Bugs? That's so precious. Oh, okay, yeah. So Mick got me back on the cicada train. I wonder if I can turn my volume down so I don't have to listen to the echo of myself. I don't want to listen to myself speak. Unhinged, one of our entomologists at work sent out this newsletter that was like, cicadas make great cat toys. You can use them for a few hours before they die. Also, get them while they're fresh and saute them in garlic butter. And I was like, what? I was absolutely out of pocket. But, anyways, the southeastern United States are getting these cicadas that come out once every 13 years, right? And so these guys will spend like 12 years and 11 months of their life underground. And then in that next month, they come out and they'll go to the top of the tree branches and they will scream and die, right? They'll scream and die all within a month. Um, and I thought it was like really interesting. So they lay their eggs in the tips of unhealthy tree branches. Oh yeah, Illinois is already going crazy because Illinois gets both broods this year. Um, but they prune trees naturally. When they lay their little eggs and then the tree branches die and then they're pruned trees. Bug? Let's go! Oh, not in a good way going nuts. Yeah, everyone usually freaks out. Oh, not in a good way going nuts. Yeah, everyone usually freaks out. They're not that bad though. We have our annual cicadas. These ones are just a different one, and their strategy to survive is scream, have as much sex as possible, and then die. And then hopefully some of the millions of those cicadas will survive. There is a map. Actually, I bet you I can find one. Um, Let me find a map for cicada emergence. Um, They'll be in like 12 states in the Southeast, and then Illinois has both of them. So they're yapping right now. They think they're really cool. The tent army caterpillars. You had one eastern tent caterpillar on your lake. They live gregariously. Those eastern tent caterpillars live all together in one giant community, and they'll take up like one branch, and then they all live together. And now they're kind of searching out and looking for new places to live. Yes, fuck, scream, die, the cicada lifestyle. Good plan. Good plan. Okay, Mick, I am entrusting in you to find some good bugs. Oh, resetting. Never mind. I am entrusting in you to find some good bugs. Oh, resetting. Never mind. Does anyone have any pressing bug questions? Because my favorite thing now is I get to rant about bugs. Cicada versus Locust 13 and 17 year coming together at once. So, um, yeah, so the 13 and the 17 are coming out around the same time, but they're generally not touching as they overlap slightly in Illinois, but mostly the 13 are, by themselves in the southeast. No echo. I'm using something else. Space set it up. Um, I'm happy with it, other than the fact that I can hear my voice and it freaks me out. Please rant about the Hot Wheels spider without typing. Bruh! Hot Wheels Sisyphus? You mean the spider that has sex organs that looks like a Hot Wheel track? Wait, what do you mean? Mute? Do I need to mute myself? Oh, I'm sorry. What if I turn my volume off? Does the echo go away? I'm testing to see if the echo is gone. Echo, please tell us about the echo. Is it gone? Okay, I'll try and be quieter. I'm sorry, I just got really excited. Yeah, we're working on my computer from grad school, so the audio is not great, but it's better than typing. In Illinois, where the cicadas are going to be, it's like both can overlap in like Springfield. You could get both. So if you're in like Springfield, Illinois, you can actually get both of the 13 and the 17-year cicadas. Okay, and this is just a beta trial. If you don't want to listen to me, we can just go back to chatting, but I'm having so much fun not having to sit here and type in the little box. Thank you, Bagel, for putting Hot Wheel Sisyphus up. Fantastic ground spider. Springfield is a real place. Yes, 500 to go to Springfield. Oh, this is so rich. Ah, there's a bug! There's a spider. I'm sorry. I won't scream. And it's a gravid spider, too. Man, these spiders be getting some action. I mean, just working hard. Working hard. You can usually tell that, like, spiders are gravid because you know how we're in our skin suits as people. Well, usually they're in their skin suits, but when they look like they're about to bust, that means that they're gravid with babies. And then the babies are going to pop out, and the first instar of the spiders don't actually eat. Um, like sometimes they have like vestigial mouth parts. Gravid means pregnant, like pregante, full of babies. Um, and so when the babies hatch and they come out, and have you seen the wolf spiders that like hang out on the abdomen of their mama? You're like walking around, and like sometimes this is sad, but like they'll squish them, right? People try and squish those spiders, and then all the baby spiders run off in like terror. So they usually hang out on their mom until the first instar, and then once they molt, they actually turn into, you know, single mom spider who works too hard. Yes, they do that. They don't eat for the first instar. Yeah, so gravid means like pregnant, right? It's an entomology term. So instead of saying like an insect is pregnant, we usually say like an insect is gravid. Um, Single mom spider who works two jobs, absolutely rich. And then once they do that first molt, so like the first molt, they're kind of like sad and like pale and like really sad spiders. Then they'll molt and then go on and live their life, and they'll jump off their mom's back. So pretty much mom is a two job mom just until they molt. So I wanted to do this thing. I've been thinking about sharing my favorite bugs because everyone asks me what my favorite bug is, and then I just say membracids. And then I get really excited because I want to talk about the fun modifications on their head. Is that it? What is that? Nothing. I want to show one of my favorite bugs per week. And so this is a glasticorid. I just put in a link for something called a glasticorid, and it is called a toad bug. These bugs look like toads, and they live in the river, and they live on the riverbanks, and they look like little toads, and they jump like little toads, and they're fantastic, and I think you should see one. It is a toad. Yes, it looks like a little frog, and they hop. Yes, it's like Georgie. It's like a little Georgie bug. And the really cool thing about them is they're true bugs, right? But their antennae, you know how everyone tastes with their antennae? They actually like hold them underneath their chin. Yeah, they're in North America, and they're like in southeastern United States, all the way up to I love leaf hoppers. But these guys act like toads and live where toads look. It does kind of look like a stink bug, yeah. You went to the zoo and you saw so many cool bugs. Please post the bug pics in Discord. I'll look at them and I will identify them. I love getting bug pics. This is so fun. I'm having so much fun. I'm on the mic. This is the first time. This is a surprise. I'm having my Wizard of Oz moment. Cat chats with a mic means that I'm no longer confined to the boundaries of a typing box. You can hear my voice and hear me rant about bugs. Which we say, thank you, Maya, and thank you, Space, for giving me this power. And thank you, Mick. for finding us bugs, but not really, because all they found right now is a spider. I sure wish I could give Connor a brain. I'll let him know, though. Do they get burying beetles in Texas? Yes, there are some carrying beetles out west. They're just really rare. So there's a lot of societies that can I rant about Bugs Life? There are a lot of societies for American burying beetles because they're actually endangered. We raise them where I work and teach at. Disgusting. We have to give these beetles rats. Very sad. But in their natural habitat, they do a lot of really cool things and they're important for the ecosystem. Uh, a Bug's Life, there's a lot of entomological inaccuracies, but it's so wholesome, right? It's like a kid, it's like a one of those nostalgia things, but caterpillars do not have wings. Let's just right then and there. Hi! Hi, everyone. It's bug time. This is my favorite hour of the week. What are my thoughts on Princess Ada? Um, I was a fan of ants. I think I remember ants. How important really are flies? They really do annoy everyone, but they're really important in breaking down like big substances. It's really hard to break down that amount of shit unless there's tiny, oops, sorry, I said a bad word. Breaking down that amount of poop, you actually need that many grubs to actually make a difference. Think about in the grasslands when there was just bisons dropping deuces and there was nothing to pick it up in the end. Flies have a really important role in that. Although flies have evolved along with us, and oh, there was something. It had wings. It flew away. Oh, thank you. I didn't know if I could swear or not. I'm trying not to swear as much. There was a fly and it was gone. Looked almost like a bibianid. Yes, I have now become an apparition in the form of a voice. But anyways, flies are more important than we think. And there are more than just flesh flies and detritus flies. There are flies that eat like mildew and scum, and you can actually get those in your like home, but they help break that down. Did I ever have bug enclosures growing up? How would parents who are scared of bugs help their children not be scared of bugs? Um, First of all, one, I am your conscious thought. I am now your conscience. I will be taking up that space. I had a Barbie house, but instead of Barbies, I used to put lizards and bugs in it. It was my favorite thing, right? I knew I was going to be an entomologist when I was in fourth grade. I found a rhinoceros beetle, like a Hercules beetle, Dynastes. I think it's Titus is the species name. And I was like, right then and there, I was like, I'm going to be an entomologist. And I never gave up. And here I am now, a doctor of bugs. Parents who have kids who are afraid of bugs, it's really how we react to them, that shapes how our kids act about bugs. Not freaking out about them, introducing them to more gentler bugs. Although I have a student who's afraid of butterflies, and I've been feeding a whole bunch of butterflies in the office. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be kind. Looking for bugs. What are some bugs exclusive to North America? That's a really good question. I actually think Galacticorids, the toad bugs I talked about, are exclusive only to North America. So I'm sorry if you're not in NA. The periodical cicadas I talked about are exclusive only to the Southeast. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited. A fun thing about periodical cicadas is that they only suck on the saps of hardwood, and it had to have been hardwood that existed 13 years ago. So, guess what? There are no periodical cicadas in Atlanta, Georgia. Why? Because they cut down all the trees and they paved the roads. And so there's never been a periodical cicada sighting. which is why we need to be really conscious about what trees we're cutting down. And then in the South, it's really popular to like clear cut and put in pine plantations for like slash pine and cut pine for money. They don't eat pine. It's got turpentine in it. Um, I sent this off some of my art prints. I do wildlife photography. Are you in the area that if I sent one, could you get it? I'm not in the area, but I'm sure we could figure something out. Mail exists. That would be really cool. Thank you. Isn't that sad? Quit cutting trees. Trees are really important for a lot of ecosystem services, especially even if they're dying trees. That is where most solitary pollinators live, in the holes of dead and dying trees. My high school bestie is finishing her bachelor's in biology. She's heading towards conservation for her master's. Oh, women in STEM! Yeah. Not gonna lie, grad school broke me in a way that I can't explain, but yes, women in STEM. I don't know about the pollinator garden question. I'm gonna be sending Maya some pollinator seeds. Whether that turns into a great big garden, I don't know. That's a Maya question, not a me question. But I think it'd be pretty cool. I'm on a pollinator safety grant right now where I do this cartoon for pollinators, but I'm not going to share it with y'all because it's a really bad cartoon. Old people directed it. I'm the best character in that cartoon, but we're combining like Native American culture and pollinator conservation into one cartoon and trying to tell a story to teach kids. But it's kind of bad because it's way too long. Yeah, you're gonna have to keep the goats out of the garden. Oh, I love Xerxes. And flippin' Maya did a reel with Xerxes. How cool is that? Can you explain why the Dermestiny family can go fuck itself? Why are you so upset about dermestids, bruh? There's a lot of dermestids. They're like carpet beetles, but like also if you have a lizard or a frog, they probably eat mealworms, and those are dermestids. Someone's got beef. Bug houses are cool. I teach this solitary pollinator class, and we make those bee houses. And I had blue orchard mason bees coming into my little bee house that I built, and I was really excited. Mick, we need to see a bug, man. I'm not blaming you. It's just the night. It's really early. It's not your fault. Are there native stories about crickets and beetles? Yeah, I actually have people. I know you're trying. I'm sorry. Uh, I actually have people who are working with the different tribal councils who are giving us stories that have to do with insects, and it's really exciting. I play a bat in the what is this? Tea fries? I do not understand. They were not the bees that I was holding against their will. Those are carpenter bees. Fun fact, the male bees don't have stingers, right? All the genetics that goes into a female bee having a stinger, male bees don't have that. And so if an insect usually has an indicator that's a male, it's either like a different coloring. So, like tiger swallowtails are black versus yellow. Bees, they have clown noses. They're called clypeases. And it's like the front beak of the bug. If that's white, you can snatch that thing out of the air if you're fast enough. It's what I do for fun during my day to break up the monotony of capitalism. I usually go for a bug walk, and in this time, I usually go and catch a couple carpenter bees and tell them that I'm boss. A bug! It's a woodlouse. It's a giant woodlouse. We've seen those. And then there's another bug. What is it? We're trying to find out. Woodlouses are in the same general large family as like the roly-poly isopods, except they're a little more nature suited. Yeah, it's very similar to a roly-poly, except these guys can actually handle drier soils. So they're not as dependent on those like aquatic gills that we've talked about, how isopods need that really damp water to soil contact to breathe. These guys are a little more independent. You saw a green and an orange ladybug today? That's very interesting. I wonder if it could be in the coccinellid family, right? Or it could be, God, now I'm gonna have to think of all my insect families, like, right off the cuff. Um, what's the one that, I'm gonna lose my, uh, entomology card. The leaf beetles, they're a pretty good one. A chrysomelid, that's it. That's what I'm thinking of. Could be a chrysomelid. Did you see bugs? Chrysomelids look kind of like lady beetles, but they're really bright colors because they eat a whole bunch of toxic stuff. And so they're trying to tell other people, hey, don't eat me. I'm full of carotenoids and poisons, and you will hate it. For your old age hearing. There's no ageism in here. Okay? We're getting old. Fact of life. I got cigarette beetles infestation. I'm currently trying to take care of it without chemicals because I have 4 pets. I spread diatomaceous earth. You can help. One thing you need to be concerned about, so diatomaceous earth, also bug. I see a beetle in the distance. Diatomaceous earth is made from like the skeletons of aquatic sea creatures, and they're like tiny razor blades. And so if an insect walks past it, um, it also covers itself in those razor blades and it dries out and dies. It does the same thing to our lungs, though. So you want to be really careful about inhaling it or having it in a place where you could, breathe it in or ingest it. How do I write this name? Sounds like a magic. Are we talking about chrysomelids? Chrysomelids? Sorry, I got distracted in the diatomaceous earth. There could be some other things that are causing those beetles in your apartment. So if you have really high humidity, you might think about bringing in a dehumidifier, and then it'll make it less hospitable for those beetles. I want to see this. A stag beetle, a female. She's still beautiful. Look at that Lucanid that Plum had. Very good bug. Very good. Do cigarette beetles hang out on the nicotine guarded patch? Do you know? Oh, look, it's caterpillar. Nicotine was like one of the first pesticides used. It is highly toxic. It will kill bugs. It will low key also kill you. So if you're a vape god, just watch out. No, they use nicotine, and also because it's slightly addictive. Um, I've had so many caterpillars lately. Lake, showed us that Eastern tent caterpillar. I've had like 16 around my house since then. There's also some other teeny tiny bugs, little flies I'm seeing. Huh. Interesting. Um, my interesting was in the comment to the cigarette beetles. You can see what'll happen with the diatomaceous earth. Just be careful, right? It is a juicy caterpillar. So caterpillars have these fake legs called pro legs. What's it like being a professor? Um, Mental warfare constantly, trying to be cool and never reaching that point. It's kind of fun, also. But caterpillars have these fake legs called pro legs. And so basically, they have these like body stump appendages that look like legs but aren't really legs. So they can kind of just like bebop around, but they still have the regular 6 legs that an insect has. Cam is lagging, so is my voice. I think I'm on like a 30-second delay. Thank you, Ben. Being an entomologist is cool. Have you talked about the caterpillars that stung Nick and Connor? No, but they're probably in some sort of Lima-coated family. If something is really bright, don't touch it. That is nature's way of saying, back the fuck off. Caterpillars are generally not so stingy, but I wouldn't risk it for the biscuit. I would take caution. But some caterpillars they look like they're stingy just so they're badass, so that, they look like the other ones. But generally, you just kind of say hi and walk away. Yeah. Don't lick the bright things. Don't lick millipedes. Don't lick bright things. He died from the fall. He could just be chilling for a second. Yeah, Central America has like all of the gnarly bugs. They have all the cool bugs and they have all the gnarly bugs. Uh, you're wrong, Mick. Brother is trucking on. So this is probably going to be a geometrid or a noctuid moth. This actually isn't going to be a butterfly. It's going to be a moth. Um, I can tell you that because one, he's ugly, and I'm sorry, but ugliest caterpillars make the drabbest moths. And most of the time, they're either a noctuid or a geometrid. So, like, if you want to act like you're a super cool entomologist and be like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm talking about, and you see a moth and it looks kind of boxy, just like go up to your friends and be like, that's a geometrid, right? Easy. Entomology, you could be one. Is a bee a bug? Okay. It's just, there are much, more fun. It's just drab. It's not ugly. It's just drab, right? You can be a drab thing. It's excellent in nature. No one's going to see you. You're not going to get eaten. Okay. Is a bee a bug? If you're going in the form of true insects, no, it's not a true insect. True insect is a hemipteran. But it is, so it's not a true bug, but it is an insect, right? I would lose my friends. I'm sorry, caterpillar. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to call you ugly. I accidentally called people stupid today, and I felt really bad about that too. My mom lives in Arkansas, and there's two. We were just talking about the cicadas. So there are the 13-year and the 17-year cicadas, right? And so these are just the broods. I think brood 19 is the one coming down south. And I think that I can put some articles here. This is a good article that your mom can read about what's going on with the cicadas. If you had to go to war with insects in Australia or Central America, because in Australia I'd die. Australia has like 20 of the 25 most venomous snakes. Australia is built different. I love lightning bugs. I can spend hours talking about the enzymatic pathway of how lightning bugs actually light up. It is a metabolitic process. So, like, it's a body process. So, you know how, you don't think about breathing, but you have to think about walking. Fireflies will think about sending these signals, and then there's an enzymatic process that like runs through their body, and then their ass lights up. Fantastic, really cool. And there are even ones that are synchronous. So I have synchronous fireflies that live out in the woods right next to me. They all blink at the same time. Ooh, what's that? I saw something good. Luciferin luciferase. Yes, it is very good. What bug would I like Alveus to get? I want Alveus to get a 526 PBQ permit so that they can have exotic bugs to talk about the exotic pet trade. That's an aspiration for down the line. But most of the bugs that I kept and I educated with, that I still keep, are exotic. And I talk to them because we shouldn't be buying pets from, different trade stores that aren't really native to our region, right? I'm trying to see what Mick is zooming up on. There's a hat. In my day, there was a lot of lightning bugs. Yeah, they're losing the general habitat into which they live. Okay, last question about cigarette beetles. Do you think you can hide nest in my snake's bedding? Most likely not. They're not going to be able to get into the enclosure. I definitely would not put diatomaceous earth with your reptiles, right? That's a big danger. What you want to be worried about for snakes are mites. Just make sure you keep that enclosure, sealed really well. Okay, I have to get through these messages. I got distracted. How do cicadas even live dormant so long? So cicadas live dormant for so long because they eat basically water with the tiniest amount of glucose in it for 13 years. And so they have such a low nutrient diet that they basically just live forever. That's not really how we work, but it's how termites and how cicadas work. Eating that really low nutrition diet just helps them live for a really long time. Today, I will make my ass flash. Yeah, that's what they do. What did I write my dissertation on? Termites. I don't want to talk about it. It was a hard time in my life. I looked at the distribution of termites in the South Asian United States. And I pulled their teeth like an evil dentist, and compared them because they're called cryptic. So they all look the same, but there are some small details you can use to differentiate. Probably bugs. You're probably right. Hello? Yeah, I have a freaking mic now. And I'm on right now, Connor. Bruh! It's so fun. There's a cock. There's a big beetle. There's a big beetle. A big ground beetle. Yes. Wait. Here. Chat, say hi to Maya and Connor.
Chat.
Yo.
Bruh!
This is awesome. Tell chat how many species of termites you discovered and you named.
I didn't name any of them. I didn't name any of them. I left them to rot.
Allison!
Bruh, it's so much work. I would have to go and find them in each life stage and describe them. It's not cool, Robert Frost.
How many though?
So at least there was like 2 new species with the potential of hybrids as well. So like 4 different things.
Cool.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Well, I love that you've got a microphone. If you want a camera, just hit me up.
I'm having my Wizard of Oz moment right now. I'm like the voice behind the screen.
There you go. Yeah, you're doing great.
I'm having way too much fun. We're gonna go talk about carabids now.
All right, go have fun.
Bye!
Bye.
Okay, sorry for the interruption. What was I talking about? Ground beetles, tiger beetles are in my same family as this. I absolutely adore them. The only time that I've fallen face first in the desert in Arizona is trying to catch tiger beetles because they're way too freaking fast. Not me with my fanny pack and my 2 jars and my net in the salt pan deserts trying to catch endemic tiger beetles and falling on my face. What kind of bug would Connor be? So there's this beetle that looks like a piece of bird shit. And I think that would be a very appropriate. No, I'm kidding. Connor would probably be something really flashy, right? We'd have to find something flashy and cool for Connor to be. But also when he's in a mood, definitely the beetle that looks like bird shit. Picture it didn't happen. Okay, let me find that beetle. I'm trying to find it. Give me time. Here it is. It's the bird poop tortoise beetle. Let me see if I can just copy and paste from this really sketch website. Here's Connor. Is there any bugs that have bad taste? Okay, Connor's had that bad taste in music for his entire life. It'll never get better. What would custard be? I bet you a giraffe weevil. Come on, Helen, will you throw a giraffe weevil in the chat? Because that's definitely what custard would be, right? A hundo p. Custard would be a giraffe beetle. I see a bug. I see a bug. What is it? Oh, it's a bibianid. It's a bibianid. So these are in the same family as flies called love bugs. They make a really good Valentine. So you're like, hey, bibianid, right? You're like, hey, love bug. There's actually something called a love bug. And yeah, it's moving pretty quick. Frosty and with it. I also love beetles when they're not cigarette beetles infesting your cupboards. Love bugs, they're real. It's because when they're having sex ass to ass, they look like a heart. See, if you can imagine it, you've got the one fly and the other fly, and when they go butt to butt, they like kind of stick together. Yeah, they make a little heart. It's very romantic. On me and who? Hey, baby on it. Hey, baby girl. Love bugs covered my car. I'm so sorry. I'm not saying what Mad Charlie wrote out loud. Very good on the carabid, Mick. Very good. We love a ground beetle. Those are the ones that I rant about in the chat box, how they mediate the weed seed bank. Because literally these guys are constantly looking for something to put in their mouth and eat. So they'll eat like weed seeds, they'll eat grass, they'll eat other bugs. But my favorite thing is they can actually mess up people's fields because they're constantly roving through the grass. They'll pick up weed seeds and then move them to other people's yards, and they're actually responsible for like the movement of a lot of weed seeds in the environment. They can eat them too when they're hungry. Spider, jump scare. Yes. Hi, Peach Tea Sunrise. We talk about bugs every Wednesday at night. It's very fun. And now I have a voice. Look at that wolf spider. She a biggie. She a big spider. I take my bug walks at lunch. It's a very peaceful, meditative practice. I go to our trial gardens and I catch bugs like a kooky bananas lady outside. Yes, I am your conscience. I am your conscience, and I am also bugs. Hi, Tortilla. We're talking about bugs. You got anything, Mick? I can't wait till scorpion season comes along. I do like to harass and kidnap bugs. Although I have a really weird thing. So entomologists, to become an entomologist, the weed transporting species are ground beetles. So carabids. They're the ones that you see that are usually like, sometimes they're shiny, but they look very like quintessential beetle. And they're really freaking fast. So they have these legs called saltatorial legs, and they freaking speed run. They are constantly moving through your soil, whether you see them or not. They can be all different sizes, and the families are incredibly diverse. And I want to see what this bug is really bad. What is it? Moths, give it at least a couple months, right? You're slower than me. Is that just a woodlouse? We're in the woodlouse world. It's gonna be one of those woodlouse parties where they all congregate together. Very close relative to Marty. I watched a movie about a bunch of bugs. You're it. Entomologist. You got the label. Oh, well, that was what I was talking about. So to become a doctor of bugs, you have to make this collection that is like almost all of the orders of the bugs that exist in, you know, the United States. I see another woodlouse. Woodlouse! And then you have to pin them all and put little labels on them and identify them. And it's basically like you know, quiz to see what you know, right? But I felt really bad after doing that, and it kind of became like a really dark like bug barter trade. Like there would be assholes that would like go and collect a whole bunch of bugs that you could only get in one certain place and then like trade them with different bugs. I think it's really rude, kind of sketchy. So now I have a really hard time killing bugs. I did hang up my trophies. It's hanging in my house. And you know, collecting bugs is a really important process to like understand what's around us, because you know, like Connor and Maya on the phone, they were talking about all those termites. There, you know, there are so many bugs that we don't even know exist. But it's I don't know, kind of gets to me now. They bury the character with fire ants and then need to find them before they die. Are you talking about the legit old CSI where he puts the bubble gum in his nose and his ears? I think about that on a regular basis. Animal Crossing was the only thing that got me through 2020 and 2021. I used to catch bugs, very entomologically accurate, very satisfying. We don't think that we know, but like 30% of the bug species that exist. There are so many more. No, Animal Crossing is my absolute jam. I love my island. I'm like a cajillionaire in Animal Crossing. It is the only video game I know how to play. I'm glad Animal Crossing made you love bugs. Oh, wait, so remember we were talking about the weed seed bank and the beetles that mess with those? I'm pretty sure that this is one of those. Once we saw these things called pasalids. I think their common name is called best beetles. Oh, just a sunflower seed? Damn. Well, it has the abdomen of a carabid. Okay, thank you for the nice humble. I'm not perfect. Mick is humbling me out here. Oh, but I got distracted. Oh yeah, pasalids, best beetles. So there are these beetles that eat rotting wood, and they a chicken pasalid for lunch. Rip. Good one. But these pasalids, they live in like tiny little communities, and they talk to each other by squeaking. So if you find pasalids, they're really shiny and they live in rotting wood. You can kind of bring them up to your ears, like when you pretended to be a mermaid and you brought a shell up to your ear and you could hear the ocean. You can hear the tiny beetles squeak, and it's really fun. You should do it if you find them. Go out into the woods, break logs, hear beetles. That's my sermon for this evening. Did I make cricket cookies? I have made cricket cookies before. I haven't made them recently. I used to organize a bug festival, and I would make a lot of bug food for that festival. Yes, go dig through rotten wood. It's very satisfying. They're not screaming for their lives. They're just talking to us. Except for the longhorn beetles, they're screaming for their lives. Oh yeah. I'm thinking of the family of that caterpillar. Give me a second. I have to use my brain. Sermon? I didn't sign up for this. This is the sermon of bugs. This is all I do. It's just bugs all the time. Harvester back in the chat. Look at them moving. So they move funky dog like this so that they avoid predators. Do you know those American woodcocks that do that whole like back and forth rocking thing? They totally do that and think they're cool. So that caterpillar is in the tussock moth family. That's the common name for them. They all have that like fun tufts and like little longs, and they don't sting, but honestly, wouldn't touch them if they look kind of gnarly. Sorry. Some spiders have relatively intricate courtship rituals, but do any beetles? Some beetles will do like flashy dances and things, not as intense as like mantids or spiders. Mantids have some of the most hardcore mating rituals, especially with the whole self-sacrifice thing. Oh, Tortilla already got it. What do we have here? What do we have here? Oh, it's gone. But guess what it was? Who's been bitching about dermestids in the chat? Because that's just what it was. What's my dream type of bug to discover? I want to get cooler beetles. I really want to get a stag beetle. I really want to get some cool. There are these things called metallic wood boring beetles. I really like those, and I'd like to get some of those. Sorry to whoever I just bullied about the dermestids. A dermestid hater. It's like, brother, I'm back. Ooh, that's a big ant. So my favorite thing about seeing that big ant's actually a soldier ant. So there are like major ants and there are minor ants, and that's a major ant. And so it's like overseeing all of the minor ants and seeing what they're doing. So it's like the middle salary manager that doesn't do any work but still gets a lot more pay. It's like the capitalism of the ant world. Major ant. Yeah, it's a major ant. No, it can't tell you to keep the other ants out of your shower. They're just really thirsty. They just want a drink of water. What if you were thirsty? You would want some water too. Answer the OG communists. Actually, the OG ones would be termites because they're the OG eusocial insect, but you know how it goes. Oh, everyone should get bug tattoos. I'm so glad I can narrate your late night work. Oh, bruh, there it is. We got a beetle. How do they specialize like that? Like their size and like change their size and stuff. What is that referring to? To which is your comment referring to? Explain. Nov1 CEGG. I need more context. No! What is there? Is there an arachnid hater in here with the tarantalizer username? Oh, so they're born that way, right? What's your opinion on genetic coding of poly versus monogyne ants? The super gene that makes an ant. So someone has brought up polygyne versus monogyne ants, and so this is polygyne means that there's like a whole bunch of queens that live in one community, and then monogyne means there's one queen, right? Like the regular OG queen way they live. I really want to see what this bug is. Can you? Oh, never mind. Yeah, so some researchers picked out and named what they thought was a super gene that decided whether it would be a polygynous ant colony or a monogyne ant colony. What do I think? I don't know enough about it. It's like witch science to me. It's like next gen sequencing, and that stuff like goes over my head a lot of the times. The sequencing that I did was like old fashioned, you know, Sanger sequencing, and so I'm not into that next gen stuff. I know some people who've done it. What bug species has been existent the longest? Oh, I saw a drainfly. That was a cycodid in the family Cycodidae. I don't know what bug has been. The oldest bugs are like the mayflies, the dragonflies, um, anything that has their wings stuck out on the side of their body. You know how dragonflies can't tuck them in, but damselflies can? That evolutionary change was right at that damselfly dragonfly break. So dragonflies, they can't tint their wings, but damselflies can. And so the oldest ones didn't have the ability to actually close it up. What kind of beetle we got here? Mayfly larvae isn't super gross. Mayfly larvae is aquatic. They're actually really good aquatic health indicators, like in rivers and streams. So like really polluted rivers, there aren't as many mayflies anymore. This is a really nice looking beetle. I'm just trying to see what it is because it looks almost like it has lamellate antennae, and so if it does, that means it's a scarab beetle. So when I say lamellate, if you take your, pinkies and your thumbs and you put them on the side of your head and then you pretend you have a little fan on your pinkies, that's what lamellate antennae are. And pretty much only the scarab beetles have lamellate antennae, and so scarab beetles are like our dung beetles. The ones in Egypt, and it's gone. And other like smaller beetles are a lot of scarabs. So that was probably a scarab beetle. Go scarab. Here's my fun fact for you all. I'm gonna drop some Latin on you. Gotta catch 'em all in Latin slang, even though it is a dead language, is omnes capiendi sunt. And I can put that in the chat so you can throw that on your friends. There we go. Omnes capiendi sunt. That means gotta catch 'em all. Veni adme frater means come at me, bro. but we'll keep it to not hostile language. Yeah, gotta catch 'em all. Omnis Capiendi Sunt. We are basically living real life Pokemon, right? There's been a lot of really fast bugs today. What did I have for dinner? A sweet potato. Connor runs on energy drinks. Red Bull is right. That is very true. Just one potato. Yeah, living up with a fancy dinner. Thank you very much. They made me take Latin to get my degree. I had to take 2 years of Latin, and all I remember is just shit talking in Latin. When I was a kid, an hour on the highway in the summer would cover the windshield in bug guts. Why does that seem to be not as bad as it used to? A lot of people think about this, right? You think about how there used to be dead bugs in your windshields, and you think, oh my God, all of the bugs are dying. What is happening? Is Allison's career going to go in the shitter? No. So what's really happened is we didn't have those extreme right of ways back in the past, right? So there was still wooded edges to the sides of roads, and there was still reeds and grass, and there wasn't as much managed on the right of ways. And insects live in that kind of shady, you know, wooded area, foresty part. And so as we start moving the right of ways further from the road, the bugs just aren't in the line of that habitat. And we got an ant. So really, it's not that we're losing bugs. We are losing bugs, right? Things are dying. We're losing all sorts of endangered species. That is why this whole conservation sanctuary exists, bring that light. Um, but it's just that insects are starting to adapt and live in other niches that, they no longer have the ability to live in. This is like Ant City. There's got to be some good food over there. Thank you, Mick. It was a fancy dinner. It was a whole sweet potato. Oh, big harvest man! Big boy! Big boy! So because harvestmen don't have antennae, that second set of legs, do you see how they're kind of like feeling all over the place and they're like bebopping around with that second set of legs? You see how they're kind of like feeling about? Those are actually modified to work like tasting organs like an antennae. So their second set of legs actually works like antennae. And so he's going around and tasting, and he's like, is there anything good and rotting that I can eat? And then he's doing that same bouncing motion that the American woodcock does. You should look up that bird, one of my favorites. Because he's trying to deter predators, right? So he doesn't want birds to think that he's a steady piece of prey, even though he's a simple-minded boy and it's nighttime and there are no birds that are going to eat him. But that's kind of how they move. And then he's feeling around and tasting. Yes, tasting organs. So insects don't have like tongues and mouths like we do. And so a lot of the times they use their sensory organs like their antennae or sometimes their cerci. So that's antennae in the back to taste things. Um, he drank too much. He drank too much rotting bug. Are all arthropod bugs technically crustaceans, or is that only certain ones? Technically, they are a lineage down from crustaceans. So, any sort of person with a shrimp or crustacean allergy is generally allergic to all bugs, especially like crickets and cockroaches, anything that shed a lot of skin, also like moth scales. And so, yes, technically, but they're very far removed. I think their closest relative is called the velvet worm Onychophora. Shrimps is bugs. Yeah, don't be eating bugs, ruffian. Not good for you. You do be allergic. Do insects have brains? Not in the traditional left hemisphere, right hemisphere, um, of a brain. They have more of a simple brain, but there's really cool research with more evolved insects. So the highest evolved insects are the ones that have complete metamorphosis, right? So beetles, butterflies, wasps, things like that. There are studies that some bumblebees may have a maternal care instinct and may take care of their young, almost like a mom takes care of their kid, which is really cool. How is someone allergic to bugs? They're allergic to the chitin, so you'll have a chitin allergy, and the outside of shrimp, that hard shell that you take off, that's the same kind of hard shell that a bug has. And so if you're allergic to shrimp, you're usually allergic because they have the same makeup. Someone clip me going, "Ooh, big harvestman." Caterpillars keeping memories up. Is it not insane? Complete metamorphosis. How a caterpillar literally liquefies and knows how to assemble all of its body parts back together in a shell and then comes out completely different. Fantastic. If a bug eats something fermented, does it get affected in the same way a mammal does, i.e., raccoons? Yes. Yes, it does. So I'm on this, good night. I'm on this invasive species task force for this thing called the yellow legged hornet, um, Vespula velutina. And they're a big bully of honeybees. And there's this news article that we were looking up when we were researching about them that said drunken hornets with nothing to do will sting you. And so, what they were talking about is after October, when all of the new queens leave the nest and the workers have nothing to take care of and nothing to do, they go out and they look for a whole bunch of like sugar based type fruit. And usually in October, all of that rotting fruit is, on the floor, rotting and a little kind of scuzzy. They totally get a little inebriated. And then that news headline was like, they will sting you with nothing to do, which isn't really true. But yes, bugs can get fruit drunk. Could you talk a little bit about the different kinds of eyes bug have? So bugs all have those compound eyes, right? The really weird thing about most bug eyes is that they don't see the same spectrums of light that we do. So the reason that flowers have those really pretty colorations, and we're like, oh, pretty. And you know how you'll have a yellow flower with like a darker center, or like how petunias are like purple, but they have almost like a white inner. That looks completely different. They see mostly infrared light. And so, they're seeing in these shades where this difference in color change is how they direct how they get into the flower and look. So they're not seeing the same stuff that we see. Like when I pick up carpenter bees to talk to them, he does not see me in a traditional sense. One, his vision is all messed up because it's a whole bunch of different convex lenses on those simple eyes. And two, he's seeing in a different light. Wait, are they laughing at me? I'm gonna turn the sound up. If you're being mean to me, Mick, don't be mean. I'm gonna turn the sound up. Okay, fine. I can be excited about bugs. There's nothing wrong with it. I do regularly pick up bees to talk to them. It's what an entomologist does. Yes, they also have UV vision. Not all bugs are tripping balls, but like seasonally, when they have the access to some rotting things, sometimes they're a little inebriated. Just a little bit, not crazy, but they can get a little, fun and funky with it. If people's aversions were removed, do you think insects could be feasibly scaled up in the industrial food industry? Yes. Honestly, we in the Western culture are really the only ones that don't eat bugs on a regular basis, right? Um, Insects are revered and eaten in a lot of cuisine. I mean, they're like chapulines, like crickets, roasted crickets. Termites are a delicacy in some places. And so I do think that there is an industry for it. The production is kind of insane. So, like, I went to a cricket production facility, and all of the baby crickets are called popcorn because when they pop out of the eggs, they literally go like 6 to 12 inches in the air, and they just had these giant swathing containers full of crickets jumping up, like hatching. It depends. If it got some sort of disease, just like how a flock of cattle get disease, it'll go through the entire thing and then you'll lose all of that. But there are some really processed, like good proteins from crickets. There's a brand called like Exo. They may have changed their name, but they have some pretty cool cricket protein bars. Um, we keep getting these big bees stuck in our house and they get stuck in the netting. Yeah, they're probably carpenter bees sniffing around, seeing what's going on. If I could be any bug, what would I be? I would be a membracid with a fake ant for a head. Those are my favorite things. And we do eat a lot of bugs. There's a lot of bugs in processed peanut butter. Yeah, don't let Echo bring you down. There is an allotment for how many insect parts per 100,000 million that are allowed in some processed fields. We got a millipede! Yes. We haven't seen one in such a long time. We have tiny little mites in our eyelashes. Yes, they're good for us. Look at that little millipede go! So millie, means so the order of millipede is diplopoda, right? So di means two and poda means foot. So basically its name just means 2 foot because they have the 2 feet per segment. Also, I hate to break everybody's hearts, but it's starting to get to the end of bug time. It do be 10 p.m. though. So we're gonna wrap it in like a few minutes. We were having too much fun. I know. It's been an hour. I've ranted about bugs for an hour. This has been so much fun. If you like the mic, we can keep doing the mic. Anyways, do we have any pressing bug comments? If you want to post bug pics in the Discord, do it. I will look at them. I can't wait to look at them. Give me bug pics. I think you can put them in like the nature section of this Discord. We can chat about bugs. Save your clips for me. I love looking at the bug clips. One day I'm gonna see a snake fly on this stream live, and that will be the best moment of my life. Oh, it's not a public Discord? Oh. Well, then what is the public Discord? RIP. Well, don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, there's no public Discord. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Maya's Discord. I'm not wrong. Maya has a Discord and it has a little nature channel and you can put bug pics in it. No! Oh, look! We've got 2 arthropod friend peas in a pod. I said Maya's. Roll it back. Wasn't wrong. Mick is gaslighting me. Mick is gaslighting me. But anyways, it has been such a lovely evening. I can't wait to do it again. And thank you, Mick, for 1, gaslighting me, and 2, finding us some bugs. We had a good carabid. We had a ground beetle, dermestid for that dermestid hater. We had millipedes, had spiders. Fantastic. Hope you all have a wonderful and safe evening. We're here to look at a few ground beetles. What is that big isopod? Look at that big roly-poly. Having the oldest mod in charge wasn't a great idea. Thank you all so much. So I'm gonna figure out how to stop this. And I think I think I can make the voice disappear. Okay. Good night, y'all.